Fox Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Southwest.
Two premier third sackers displayed their talents last night at Globe Life Park. At 39 years old and a future Hall of Famer, Adrian Beltre continued his impressive week. But the night belonged to a 27-year-old superstar, as Nolan Arenado busted his slump and led his team to a come-from-behind win in Game 1. Well, these fans are ready for Game 2 of our series. They've been lined up outside since this morning. Adrian Beltre, bobblehead today. Nolan Arenado, two of the great third basemen in the game this afternoon. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you. I am Dave Raymond alongside America's favorite baseball analyst, Tom Grieve. And we talk about two great third basemen, one older, one newer, and it's a lot of fun to watch these two go head-to-head.
Yeah, it really is, Dave, and we've got a graphic that shows how really great these two players are and have been for a long time. Nolan Arenado, since 2015, is #1 in the major leagues in home runs, RBIs, and OPS. Over those 3 years, averaging 40 home runs, 131 RBIs. Adrian Beltre, all-time rankings for third baseman, #1 in RBIs, second in hits, 4th in home runs. Pretty spectacular numbers for both of those guys. Over the last 4 games, Adrian's been hot, to say the least. 10 for 14. He's walked a couple of times, hit by a pitch. He's reached in 13 of 17 plate appearances. And in last night's game, he had 2 infield hits. Both were check swings like this down the third base line. He had to sprint to beat both of them out. The good news is his leg was fine at the end of that ball game. Nolan Arenado had been 0 for 19 heading into last night's game. In fact, he was given a day off on Thursday before this series. Seems to have worked pretty well. Last night he had a couple of doubles. He hit a home run. He walked. He scored 3 runs, went 3 for 4, and knocked in 3 runs. A lot of fun in this 3-game series, getting a chance to watch one of the all-time great third basemen against one of the coming superstars at that same position.
Yeah, a little bit of the game inside the game for you this week. And now, of course, we enjoy it. I don't know about the starting pitchers, how much they enjoy it. 2 lefties going today, Mike Minor and Kyle Freeland. Well, one of them pitches really well at home. The other one also pitches really well at home. We'll see how that one plays out for the Rangers when we put those two in the spotlight when we come back. Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Boy, lots of sunshine today and plenty of heat for you this afternoon, getting ready for Game 2 of our 3-game series. We're talking about the starters going to break. Two left-handers, both of whom enjoy pitching at home. And, well, Tom, it seems like as we put those two in our Shiner Box spotlight, that works out well for the Rangers.
Yeah, their ERAs come out just about the same. Kyle Freeland on the road, Mike Minor at home. Freeland has been probably the most consistent starter for the Colorado Rockies. Mike Minor has pitched well for the Rangers. The one thing that's plagued Mike a little bit has been the home run ball. He's given up at least one in his last 7 starts. He'll try to tame a Colorado offense that hit 3 home runs and had 4 doubles in last night's game.
All right, for a little bit more on Mike Minor, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, Mike Minor, a successful reliever last season, of course, making the transition back to the starting rotation this year with the Rangers. When they signed him, they wanted to make a concerted effort not to overstress him, his arm, his shoulder, all of those things that could contribute to another injury, which of course kept him away from the mound for a couple of seasons. When you look at the number of innings that he's pitched thus far, already at 65, which is close to, or 66 rather, which, or I can't read that. Which is close to where he was last year already. When looking at what they want long-term from him this season, they want to manage those innings, but more importantly, they want to manage the stressful innings, those innings in which he pitches 20 or more pitches. And so there is always an effort to minimize those, keep those under control, keep that number down low, and always give him that extra day of rest when it's possible. Dave.
All right, so a little extra rest again this time, 6 days. Last start, he made on 9 days rest, so should have plenty in the tank this afternoon to face these Rockies. 34 and 35 of their lineup today. Starts off with second baseman DJ LeMahieu. Charlie Blackmon at center field bats second. Nolan Arenado at third is third. Then it's Story, Ian Desmond, and Tom Murphy in the middle of things. Right fielder Carlos Gonzalez back in there batting seventh. Chris Iannetta catches. And, well, Cuevas, the left fielder, bats ninth.
And let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Mike Minor. Mike likes to throw a 4-seam fastball almost half the time, and then a pretty even split among his secondary pitches: slider, changeup, and curveball. Mentioned it in the Shiner Box spotlight that Mike's goal today, I'm sure, is to keep the ball in the ballpark. He's facing some right-hand hitters that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, some left-hand hitters that can do the same, and that will be very important for Mike's success today. Try to keep the ball on the ground, keep it from going out of the ballpark.
Well, it starts with DJ LeMahieu. And look at his average in the first inning. You saw on the bottom of your screen, a better than 400 hitter in the first inning. These guys, Rockies as a team, thrive in the first inning this year. And so you talk about a key keeping the ball in the ballpark. That's another key for all these Rangers, is to control the Rockies in the first inning.
Yeah, in yesterday's game, Yohander Mendez was able to do that. He got out of the first inning, but then the bottom of the order got on base, and the top of the order got up again, and they put 6 runs on the board in the top of the second inning.
So 2-1, the count to LeMahieu, and he takes a strike. At 94 miles per hour. Yeah, there's those first inning numbers. 19 homers and 60 runs in the first inning, both best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's not even close, too. I think Kansas City is second with less than 50 runs in the first inning. Oh, there's a good start for Mike. He jammed LeMahieu. A little soft line drive. The Rangers defense is delivered to you by DeMontron RV. In the outfield will be Joey Gallo in left. Shin-Soo Choo will be in right. Nomar Mazara still not quite ready to play. Delano in center. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third. Ronald Guzman over at first. Up the middle, Profar and Odor. And behind the plate, Jose Trevino gets another start.
So 1 away, and the dangerous Charlie Blackmon, he takes strike 1. 13 home runs, 32 RBIs, but once again up at the top of the order, has found a way to score a lot of runs for this team. It'll roll out to first. Guzman takes care of him, and there are 2 gone.
Oh, good start to the game for Mike. He got a soft line drive that looked like a cut fastball that stayed up, but cut enough away from Charlie Blackman, where he tried to pull it, hit it off the end of the bat. Simple ground ball for Ronald Guzman. 2 up, 2 down. One ball hit toward the end of the bat. One ball hit a little bit toward the handle. It's a pitcher's goal. Keep the ball away from the sweet spot of the bat.
Well, Rangers had a little trouble doing that with Nolan Arenado last night. 3 for 4 games, scored 3 runs, had a couple of doubles and a homer yesterday. And he lifts this one in the air to right field. Chu, some room back there. And it's a 9-pitch top of the first inning for Mike Minor. So as Emily asked, he delivers. An efficient first. Now the Rangers come to bat. In the bottom of the first, we'll see what the Rangers can do. 27 wins, 44 losses in our Southwest batting order for the Rangers. Shin-Soo Choo again in that leadoff spot in right. Delano DeShields, Jurickson Profar, Adrian Beltre. Then it's the second baseman, Rougned Odor. Kiner Falefa at third, Joey Gallo in left, Guzman at first, and Jose Trevino catching, and his first big league start. All against the left-hander, Kyle Freeland. 6 wins, 6 losses on the year. So Chu, you see the overall numbers very good, but he has reached in 29 straight. As the count goes to 1-1. The numbers are one thing, but they don't tell you what's going on at the moment, and that is Chu is locked in and has been for quite some time. Back 1-2. So this streak, 29 games in which he has reached base safely, longest in baseball right now. 318 average. He's getting on at a 467 clip, but you can also see some power in there with 7 home runs. This is part of what he has been doing so well. Just wearing dudes out. When he's seeing the ball well like this, he can spoil anything that he feels like he can't drive.
Well, if you can spoil the slider, a left-hand hitter from Kyle Freeland, you're doing a pretty good job. Lefty's only hit a little over 200 against him, and the slider has been his weapon, particularly against left-hand hitters.
Freeland just turned 25 years old about a month ago. 6'4", a little over 200 pounds. He was a first-round draft pick by the Rockies in 2014. And grew up right there in Denver. Went to Thomas Jefferson High School and then played collegiately at the University of Evansville in southern Indiana before the Rockies picked him in the draft. Now stays full on Chu. He was the 8th overall pick This is Freeland's second year in the big leagues. Last year, a very good debut. 8th pitch of the at bat to Chu, and it's in the air down the left side, foul.
And already he's going to make him throw 7 or 8, at least 8 pitches. This will be his 8th pitch coming up.
Yeah, this is something the Rangers have done pretty well. 8 or more pitches and 89 plate appearances as a group. That's 5th most in baseball.
That was his 8th pitch. That was his 9th pitch. So this will be his 10th pitch coming up as Chu spoils the best Kyle Freeland has to offer.
Chu seems very nonplussed by the whole transaction so far.
You know, when you're going good like he is, going well like he is, you are relaxed like that. You hear hitters talk about the game slowing down. The ball looks a little bit bigger. And you can really see that with Chu, because I agree with you. He does look completely relaxed at the plate right now. And I think for a pitcher on a day when it's 93 degrees, to face the leadoff hitter and have to throw at least 11 pitches to him is definitely not the game plan you set for yourself before this one started.
Off the plate, ball 4.
Then not to get him out and work a walk. That at bat is an example of someone who's going really well at the plate.
Well, it was getting to the point where you had to start thinking about Brandon Belt and that 21 pitch at bat he had earlier this year for the Giants. An 11 pitch walk for Delino DeShields, or rather for Shin-Soo Choo, and here comes Delino.
Yeah, very frustrating at bat for a pitcher, because I think he had to feel like he made 2 or 3 really good pitches that throughout most of the early part of this season were pitches that would have gotten left-hand hitters to swing and miss. But not Chu. Not the way he's going right now.
Now Delino. Last night went 1 for 3. And while the average not where he wants it to be, and all the numbers overall still lagging a little bit for Delino, he's been getting on with extraordinary regularity lately. He's reached base safely now in 16 of his last 34 plate appearances. 8 hits, 7 walks, been hit once. Count 1-1.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of being patient at the plate. He has not been hitting for average. Obviously, he's hitting below 200 for an extended period of time. And so going into the at-bats, the pitchers, I'm sure, are saying to themselves, look, we're going to try to make him swing the bat because we don't want him to get on base with his speed. And so they're going out of their way trying not to walk him, yet Delino has had the patience to work 7 walks in a short period of time. So that's pretty good. It's one thing to walk a lot if you're a power hitter and you're hot and you're hitting home runs and they're pitching to you carefully. But Delino is not a home run threat. And if anything, the pitchers are probably trying too hard to throw him a strike because they don't want to walk him.
Chu with his lead over at first. And Freeland's pitch, this one lifted in the air right field. Gonzalez coming on. And there is one away.
Let's take a look at Kyle Freeland and his pitch arsenal. He throws 4-seam fastballs well under half the time. His big pitch is his slider. He throws that almost 30% of the time. And he'll also throw a changeup, mix in a 2-seam fastball, which is his sinker, and also a curveball. I would say when the going gets tough for him and he has to make a pitch, many times it'll be a slider.
Well, he'll work to Jurickson Profar now. Profar leads the Rangers in doubles and triples. Ooh, quick snap throw that time by Freeland. And he meant business with that one. Chu with a couple of steals this year. And Profar takes up and away. Well, Jerkson 1 for 3 last night, had a big home run. He blasted it out to right field into the upper deck. That home run porch. Also walked.
And 3 of his last 4 home runs have gone somewhere around 420 feet. So he's not only hitting him, he's putting a charge in him too.
Well, last 25 games now, he has 5 homers, 2 triples, 7 doubles. So, you know, even just the hits have largely been for extra bases. And he takes high 2-1. There's hit also 22 RBIs in the last 25 games, and he has a penchant for driving in runs at big spots in the game. We're just getting started here this afternoon, but late in games he has come up with some really big hits. 3-1. So Freeland really having to work in this first inning. Profar hits this ball a ton, but foul. Well, he was sitting on that one.
Last night he got a perfect pitch to hit a long ways, a hanging breaking ball, belt high and right down the middle of the plate. And hit it 3 rows back into the upper deck of the home run porch, over 420 feet.
21st pitch of the inning. Chu is running, and this one is popped up. Back of second, out into shallow right field. It is LeMahieu who takes it. 2 out here in the first inning.
Batting forward, the designated hitter, number 29, Adrian.
Take a look at the Colorado Rockies defense for the ball game today. Noel Cuevas is in left field. Charlie Blackmon in center. Carlos Gonzalez didn't play last night. He's in right field tonight. Nolan Arenado at third. Trevor Story at shortstop. DJ LeMahieu. Ian Desmond on the right side of the infield, and behind the plate, Chris Iannetta. Iannetta in his 13th major league season.
Here's Adrian Beltre, designated hitter today. See a little note there at the bottom of your screen, hitting nearly 500 in the last 10 days. And he's doing it in a lot of different ways. You pointed out last night a couple of infield hits, little check swing rollers. And the great news about it wasn't just that he got 2 hits, but he was able to beat him out and come away healthy.
Yeah, I think anytime that Adrian has to sprint like that a couple of times in a ball game on a hot night, you do kind of hold your breath. But the Rangers are going out of their way to manage that situation. That's why in this ball game he's DHing and not playing out at third base.
One and 2 the count, and Freeland about to deliver his 25th pitch of the inning. Not before he checks in with Chu again. How about the home numbers for Adrian Beltre? 377 average here. 2-2. Pretty special the way that he has been able to hit, and this year especially with the interruptions on the disabled list, and he just rolls right back in the lineup, knocks out 2 or 3 a night. And you just run the count full. They're being a little careful with Beltre. Got the left-handed hitting Rougned Odor waiting on deck. Freeland just trying to find his way to the finish line here in the first. Beltre swings and misses, and that will end the inning. Rangers leave a man. So we've played 1 so far today, no score. Well, we'll go to the second inning, and local product Trevor Story will lead things off for Colorado. A good night last night in his first game in this ballpark. Big night for Trevor Story, the 25-year-old shortstop for the Rockies. Drove in a couple and 2-for-5 night. Well, leads the National League with 52 RBIs this year. 1-1 the count. Well, Trevor Story, when he made his debut April 4th, 2016, hit 2 home runs off Zach Greinke. Now, he had come off an incredible spring training. Then he set the rookie record for home runs in the first 4 games. He had 4. And then just a little bit later, April 18th, hit his 8th homer in just 13 major league games. No player has accomplished that in the modern era. An unbelievable start for Trevor Story, and then got hurt. And later that year, when the Rockies came through town here, was on the disabled list and did not get a chance to play. And he was bummed about it.
Hey, 21 home runs at the All-Star break that year. So many times in spring training you see a young player, you know, with a decent minor league record, but nothing that really stands out, go to spring training and have a big spring. But it's pretty hard to carry over a big spring training, especially one that you have in Arizona with a start to a major league season like he did.
Full count on Story.
Got the opportunity and jumped on it. Been hitting home runs ever since when he's healthy.
Well, you mentioned it, the 21 home runs that he had at the All-Star break, that tied a National League record for rookies. Dave Kingman did it in 1972 and Albert Pujols in 2001. But the thumb injury cost him the second half of the season. And then last year, you know, he struggled a little bit, still had 24 home runs, finished very strong. And now this year leading the league in RBIs.
Yeah, and he's a well-rounded player. Plays very nice defense at shortstop. Nice pitch right there by Mike Minor. He runs well too. 9 out of 10 stolen bases this year. So even if he doesn't hit for a high average, if he's playing excellent defense, running the bases, and hitting the ball out of the ballpark, you've got a pretty solid shortstop in your organization. That's the 4-seam fastball that stays away, maybe slightly out of the strike zone, and Story swung and missed at it. Good start to this ball game for Mike. 4 up, 4 down.
So now the former Ranger Ian Desmond, who last night reacquainted himself with the fans here with 2 home runs. Let's see, he's 5th in the senior circuit now with 14 home runs this year. Desmond, the part of the story is that a preposterous number of those 14 home runs, 11 of them have come on the road. I mean, one thing if he played his home games, I don't know, like San Diego or San Francisco, and then did his damage away from home, but he plays his home games at Coors Field. I figure the numbers historically for most guys certainly favor playing in that ballpark, and Desmond takes a 4-pitch walk here in the second inning. This gives us time for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
So Minor has to deal with a base runner here. Desmond, who does run well, over at first, and Tom Murphy, a designated hitter, steps in right side.
I mentioned this yesterday. Murphy was really swinging the bat in AAA before he was called up, hitting .290 with 16 home runs and 45 RBIs. And in a short period of time, he's been swinging the bat pretty well since he's been called up to the big leagues.
Picked up.
Caught him back on. There was no doubt about that block, at least in the eyes of the umpire. The second base umpire, Angel Hernandez, first base umpire, Alan Porter, together jumped all over that call. It definitely showed deception. And the ruling is probably that he didn't step toward first base when he threw that ball. If you take the line from the pitcher's rubber to home plate and the pitcher's rubber to first base, it's a 90-degree angle, and cut that in half. You have to step to the left of that 45-degree line to have a legal throw to first base. If you step to the home plate side of that 45-degree line, then that would be, and throw to first base, then that would be a balk.
It's a 6th balk by the Rangers this year. And Desmond now out there at second base. The 1-1 popped foul back out of play. I don't know. It didn't look egregious to me. The other thing is, when you bring that leg up, if there's any movement back and forth, let's say between second and home.
Well,
so
you can't bring your foot past the pitcher's rubber.
I don't even think you can.
No, you can bring your knee past it. You can't bring your foot past the rubber. You can leave your foot to the home plate side of the rubber, and your knee can go past the rubber. That's the Mitch Williams had that move, and several times during the year he would tell the umpires what his move is so that they wouldn't call that.
One-two pitch.
In fact, interestingly enough, I was asked that question at a Little League game, and to make sure I had the answer right, I texted Mitch the other day and asked him about his move, and he said yes, as long as your foot doesn't go past the rubber, your knee can go past the rubber, and that's what he used to do.
Strike 3 called out of the outside corner. 2 strikeouts in the inning from Minor.
A good inning for Mike. A couple of strikeouts. Well located 4-seam fastball toward the outside of the plate. The one to Trevor Story was a little bit higher, a little bit more outside, but that one caught the corner. Pretty good pitch.
So a couple of strikeouts, and now Carlos Gonzalez, who did not play in yesterday's game. Gonzalez doing a little gardening there in the left-handed batter's box. Franchise icon in Colorado, one of the all-timers in a Rockies uniform. One of the top 5 in franchise history in a lot of categories. And of course, a very well-decorated career. See the career numbers against the Rangers, not too bad. This is 10th year with Colorado.
You know, with that move, Mitch in his career, and he wasn't a starter, so he didn't have that many innings, picked off 36 runners. Some of them off second base, but a lot of them off first. And he got 3 saves without ever pitching to a batter by coming into a game and picking a runner off first base.
Well, now that's an accomplishment.
That's pretty good.
That
your pitches for the day, 0 pitches.
That's got to be a record.
Well, let's put it this way: you can't break that record. You can't throw a negative pitch.
2-0. And there's a swing and a miss by Carlos Gonzalez.
A good pitch right there on 2-0. Something other than a fastball.
This will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Minor. And the walk to Desmond, the balk. But a couple of strikeouts. And he goes 3-1 on Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a couple of Silver Slugger awards in his career. 3-time All-Star. And he won a batting title with the Rockies back in 2010. It's a full count. Minor has only walked one left-handed hitter this year of the 42 he has faced. I say that for Gonzalez's sake, because if he's up there looking for a walk, he might want to consider the alternative. Not likely that Minor would miss. Here's a 3-2 and a bouncer up the middle, and Odor can't quite get to it. Desmond will score, and the Rockies get the first run of the ball game on the Gonzalez single.
Ground ball looked like it had some top spin on it. It really rolled quickly through the infield. Thought off the bat that Ruby might have time to get over to it. That top spin, it bounced and didn't pick up speed, but it sure didn't slow down much.
A 2-out RBI for Carlos Gonzalez, and now Chris Iannetta, the hitter. Last night the Rockies won the opening game of this series 9-5, and 5 of their 9 runs they scored with 2 outs in an inning. This one fouled away to the right side to even the count on Iannetta. In fact, last night's game, a bizarre one. The Rangers scored 5 runs in the first inning, only to end up on the short end of it, 9-5. For the Rockies, you got to go back a few years as they were able to come back from a 5-run deficit. This one out to left field and handled by Gallo to end the inning. Well, we've played 1.5, and Colorado has the early lead this afternoon.
Balk played a pretty big role in that run. So let's take another look at the balk. Your right foot can't go past the pitcher's rubber. At first I thought he might have not stepped toward first base. Looking at it again, it looks like his right foot might have gone past the pitcher's rubber toward second base, in which case it's an easy call for the umpire. It's very tough to call whether you step toward first or toward home, that 45-degree line. But when your foot goes by the pitcher's rubber, that stands out. And I think that's probably what happened, because Angel Hernandez, the second base umpire, and Alan Porter, the first base umpire, both jumped all over that immediately. So chances are that's what happened. Couldn't tell exactly, but my guess is that's what happened.
Quite literally jumped. I mean, Alan Porter leapt off his feet.
Yeah.
Time was called. That pitch didn't count. Freeland just decided to throw it anyway. Odor leading off here with the second inning.
If it's something, the balk was called for something other than those two possibilities, you have to bring in a pitcher with more expertise than I have.
Well, pop up behind second base. Trevor Story out there, one away. Well, how about the big story? Well, the Seattle Mariners are as hot as the Rangers have been. Denard Span last night capping off another come-from-behind win for the Seattle Mariners. But how about the 22-10 record in one-run games as well?
Yeah,
they're playing inspired baseball.
They're playing inspired baseball. They're playing great, but most baseball sabermetricians and analytics people would say it's hard to sustain 22 one-run wins in the first 2.5 months of the season over the next 3.5 months of the season. So we'll see what happens.
1 ball, 1 strike to Kiner Falefa. Well, that
they've taken off since they lost Robinson Cano.
I'll tell you what, they've been unbelievable since they lost Cano.
Moved D. Gordon from center field back to second base. It's hard to say, you know, you really can't just say, well, thank goodness they don't have Robinson Cano anymore. Now they're a good team. That doesn't make much sense. But for whatever reason, guys picking up the slack, stepping up to the plate. They're playing nice baseball right now.
I'll tell you one thing, the Mitch Haniger and Gene Segura acquisition from Arizona looks smarter and smarter every day.
Yeah.
That has been unbelievable for the Mariners.
Yeah, they traded Taijuan Walker, promising young right-handed starter, and Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte's played pretty well for Arizona, but not like Gene Segura. You have to think that Segura and Haniger both had great chances of playing in the All-Star game.
Freeland's 3-2 pitch to Kiner Falefa. That one back up the middle. Sliding stop. LeMahieu. His throw in time. And he gets Kiner Falefa 2 away in the second inning. And that's why that guy is regarded as one of the best defensive second basemen of the night.
Wow. I didn't think there was any chance he was going to make a play on this ball. It looked like it's headed right up the middle. But, you know, he's not 5'10" and 165 pounds either. He's a big guy. And you talk about agility to slide. Watch how quickly he pops up from there and throws a strong, accurate throw with his momentum taking him out towards center field. That's just a superb play.
6'4", 220.
6'4", 220. It's just amazing how big and agile today's player is in the middle infield and third base. Just amazing.
Rockies defense, I mean, he's certainly a big part of it, but their defense pretty much the best there is. Diamondbacks been playing very well, so have the Astros.
Bobby Grich was a big second baseman. He was not quite as big as LeMahieu, and he had that kind of agility. But not most of the guys back, you go back 30 or 40 years, most of the middle infielders that were Gold Glove candidates probably weighed less than 180 pounds. Mark Belanger is one of the greatest shortstops that ever lived. He won 8 or 9 Gold Gloves for the Baltimore Orioles. He was probably 6'1" and 170 pounds. You think of Ozzie Smith wasn't a big guy, Louis Aparicio. Cal Ripken was a big shortstop, but he wasn't as agile. Cal Ripken was positioned perfectly, knew the pitchers, got great jump, but as far as the agility, it's hard to imagine that even the smaller, slimmer guys had better agility than what LeMahieu showed on that play.
Gallo strikes out to end a quiet bottom of the second inning, and great defense once again from the Rockies. The Gold Glover, DJ LeMahieu, turns in a sterling effort. 2 innings in, and the Rockies have the 1-0 lead. As we go to the third, well, Cuevas will lead things off for Colorado, and he pulls this one foul. Up into the shade. That's where they're hanging out today. Saw Cuevas yesterday in the opening game. He had a base hit in his forward bats. Minor could use a quicker inning. He was very efficient in the first, just 9 pitches. But he needed 25 pitches to get through the second inning. So Michael looked to cut that down just a tad here. And there's strike 3 caught. So he gets Cuevas on 3 pitches, 1 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson.
Second baseman DJ LeMahieu.
It's going to be a great race. I don't see how that one can't go down to the final week or so of the season. DJ LeMahieu, 0 for 1, stands in. Leadoff man for the Rockies. Hits this one out to right field. Chu goes back, but he's got room. And there are 2 away. Well, tomorrow is Father's Day. We want you to come on out to the ballpark. Final game against the Rockies, and the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark tomorrow we'll get a Rangers reversible bucket hat, courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and Southwest Airlines. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. It'll be something like that anyway. Blackman shows bunt. Grounded out in the first inning, and we talked about him a little bit yesterday, how I don't want those glasses anymore. No good. But last year had such a big year out of the leadoff spot. I talked to his manager today, Bud Black, about that. I asked Bud pretty much straight up, why is he batting second? Drove 100 runs last year in the leadoff spot. You guys were successful. What are you doing? And he said, well, did he drive in 100 runs because he was batting leadoff? Or because he was just a really good hitter driving in runs?
Probably because he hit 37 home runs.
I said, well, maybe because he hit a lot of bombs. He said, well, all the sabermetrics say that you put your best hitter second.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He's like, so we asked him about it. He likes the idea of batting second. And LeMahieu really liked the idea of batting leadoff. So we thought we'd just go with it. Foul ball deep down the line. Kind of for left. It can't quite get there.
Well, you see, you are starting to see a lot of teams bat their guy second. Mike Trout's been batting second. That has started to happen over the last few years. But it's pretty easy to bat Charlie Blackmon second and put DJ LeMahieu first. DJ LeMahieu won a batting championship, so he's hit .315 average over the last 3 years. Charlie Blackmon's hit .310, so LeMahieu's actually hit higher than Blackmon has, average-wise anyway. So with the power that Blackmon has, why not have someone on base like LeMahieu ahead of him?
Big swing and a miss, and Blackmon strikes out. It's a 1-2, 3/3 inning, and hey, Minor does it on 10 pitches. We played 2.5. Rockies lead 1-0.
It is Courtney Whitrock, and you are turning how old today?
13.
13 years old. She is a teenager, and Tom, this is what got her the fan of the game. Look what she's doing. What are you doing here?
Keeping score.
Keeping a score. She's going old school on her 13th birthday, keeping score. Courtney, congratulations. Guys.
That's a winner. Worked for Barbara Bush. Got to keep score. It's the best way to enjoy a ball game. It's Guzman takes off the plate, 1-1. It's one of my favorite things is when people send pictures of their scorecards, and more folks are doing that.
Are they?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, on Twitter, everybody puts their scorecard out there, and I like it. I like to see how other guys score. I like to see how fans score. So many variations on the same theme, of course. Freeland delivers 1 and 2. And Guzman lines that one into left field. That's a base hit. First Rangers hit of the game. And a lead man on for a second time today.
Well, the Condor gets a pitch tailing away from him. Does a nice job of driving that ball to left field. Left-hand hitters, Rangers have 4 of them. Chu, Odor, Gallo, and Guzman. Left-handers will see a lot of sliders. And so being able to wait and go the other way will be important.
Trevino bounces it up the middle. Story steps on the base, goes over to first, and that's a quick double play, 6 unassisted to 3. And just like that, the hit erased.
We saw it last night on a nice double play that Trevor Story turned where he did the 360 and fired to first base. He's got excellent arm strength. And on that play, he had to use his arm strength. It's going to be a fairly close play at first. He has to run across the bag and throw on the run and get something on the ball. Not a exceptionally hard play for a big league shortstop. But you do have to have the arm strength, and he definitely does.
It's the third double play the Rangers have hit into in this series already as Chu takes a strike. Chu with an epic at bat in the first inning. 11 pitches to draw the walk. And he shoots this one into left field. That's a base hit. So he has been on both times this afternoon. Of course.
Well, it's 30 straight games now.
Center fielder, DeLino, DeShields.
Yeah, I would say so far in this game, Freeland really hasn't located his slider like he wants to. A lot of these sliders have stayed up and caught a good portion of the plate. I would guess that he's had success with that slider by keeping it down a little bit more and slightly more outside. Chu had his 46th walk today, 3rd in the major leagues.
High fly ball out to right field, and Gonzalez is right there. It's an 8-pitch bottom of the 3rd for Kyle Freeland. Well, 3 innings in, it's 1-0 Rockies. Well, 1-0, top of the 4th inning this afternoon. Take a look at the Rockies. Last year, they got the second wild card, but then lost to Arizona in the wild card game, an 87-win season. And, you know, a great start to this season. Rockies were looking really good out of the gate, but they have stumbled 13-20 since their really good start. The weird thing to me, that 11-19 record at home. They have always done such a great job at home, but not this year.
Yeah, 23-16 on the road. You would expect it to be just the opposite.
They're the only team in the National League West to have never won the division. They've been to a World Series.
Yeah.
They've been to the postseason a handful of times. They've never won the National League West. Ground ball shortstop, Profar right there on top of it, and Arenado retired to start the 4th inning. Hey, Coca-Cola Family Pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets, food, kids zone access, souvenir programs, and Coke soft drinks. A family pack is an ideal way to catch the Rangers in the finale tomorrow afternoon, 2:05 against these Rockies. TexasRangers.com/specials. Get your Coca-Cola Family Pack today. One out, and it brings up Trevor Story. Struck out in the 2nd inning. And Minor fires that one just off the plate. I was down earlier today talking about Black, asked him about Story and his situation yesterday. What better than 250 family and friends and all the distractions. And of course, he had a great game. But said, yeah, I think it's back to normal today. High pop up, back of second base. Argument over who's going to have it. Profar wins the argument.
Yep, when in doubt, the shortstop takes charge.
First baseman Ian Desmond.
Rugi, I don't know that he had much of an argument there, trying to say you stay on that side of second base.
It's a simple play. It's not like either one of them is going to have a hard time with this ball. But someone has to take charge, and the shortstop has the right to do that. You can see Rugi. Rugi was calling for it, but as soon as he heard Profar, he got out of the way. And then, as you say, Dave, he pointed out that you've infringed on my territory.
It's like two brothers, right? You draw the line in the room or on the car seat. This is the line.
The thing is, when the ball goes up and you're watching the ball, you're not exactly sure where that line is. So you may cross it without actually knowing it. And as a shortstop, even if you do, you still can call for that ball. It doesn't really matter. That was just Rugi pointing that out after the play with a smile on his face.
0-2 on Ian Desmond.
And Mike's throwing the ball well today. He's had a good fastball, good off-speed pitches.
Desmond walked and eventually scored the only run in this game. It was in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, the only hit was the bouncer up the middle, and the only walk was Desmond, who got to second on a balk.
Strike 3 called. Another strikeout for Minor and another very efficient inning. Desmond didn't like it, but we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
And Mike's doing a great job of locating his fastball on the outside corner. That's the 3rd taking strike 3 on the outside corner.
Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer. Well, here we go now, bottom of the fourth inning. Jurickson Profar, Adrian Beltre, and Rougned Odor, with the Rockies leading 1-0. Freeland with that high leg kick and then the hold. 1-1 the count. A little bit like what Tony Barnett does. And he varies the length of time that he holds it up there. So far, out to right field and one away. And here comes the captain, Adrian Beltre. He has thumped the Rockies over the years. Since 2011, has an OPS of over 1,200. That's on base plus slugging. And of course, you might guess that would be the highest. 1,200. That's a pretty big number. Chopper over the mound towards short. Nice backhand stop by Story and makes for a routine play. 2 gone. And now his pitch count, you see at 52. And that's pretty remarkable given that 11 pitch at bat to start the game for him.
Yeah, he had upper 20s pitch count in the first inning, just like Chad Bettis yesterday had right around, was it 30 pitches, 28, 29 pitches in the first inning, ended up pitching into the 6th inning. Bettis also gave up 5 runs in the first inning. Freeland threw 25, 28 pitches in the first inning, but didn't give up any runs, only faced 4 batters because of that walk.
Reminds me, I wanted to check on Bettis on that one. There's a strike to Rougned. Yeah, so Bettis yesterday, that was it though. He gave up those 5 runs in the first and that would be it.
Yeah.
So what was that, 4 or 5 straight games where he had given up exactly 5 runs?
Well, the 3 games before that he'd given up 5 runs. Yeah, so that's 4 in a row.
So, you know, that's what you just want consistency in this game. You want to know what you're getting every time.
He had to suck it up for that consistency by finishing as strong as he did.
Yeah, he did.
He knew after that first inning he couldn't give up another run.
Odor pops this one way up in the air. And that will end up among the fans. Man, that one came down hard. But into an empty seat. So one of the things we have seen with Odor this year has been the improvement against left-handed pitchers. Now the power numbers just aren't there this year for Rugi. Just 1 home run overall. But against left-handed pitchers, he's hitting .326. Nearly a 200-point increase on his average against lefties last year. 1-2 pitch, and it's off the plate.
Yeah, there are some good signs over the last month and a half. He's not chasing pitches out of the strike zone as much as he has in the past by a pretty good percentage. So he's making progress for sure in that regard. One thing that's down significantly are his power numbers. Only hit 1 home run. He's been up 146 times. So is he sacrificing power by laying off bad pitches? Hard to imagine that that's the case.
He strikes out here to complete a quick bottom of the 4th for Kyle Freeland, who continues to be efficient. We go to the 5th inning, 1-0 Colorado.
Congratulations to Ranger fans celebrating birthdays and anniversaries at Globe Life Park today.
And his strikeouts today. Good fastball away. Another fastball away. Another fastball away. Fastball away. And a slider. That was the first pitch of this inning. I thought that was going to be a strikeout. So wait, that's not a strikeout. He fouled it off.
It was a head fake right there. Gotcha.
Mike on the day has 5 strikeouts, and he's had a really good fastball today. And along with good velocity, the reason it's had the strikeout totals it's had is because he's thrown it where he wants to, right on the outside corner.
Yeah, all 5 strikeouts have come on that 4-seam fastball. Trying to get Murphy here. You pointed out earlier that a lot of the strikeouts have been called. 3 of the 5 called third strikes.
Yeah.
And it's 1 and 2.
There's another one that's pretty close to being strikeout number 6. The other thing you like about Mike on a hot day, getting the ball, standing on the rubber, looking for a sign and throwing it.
Pop foul out of play. Well, he worked in the 2nd inning. Minor threw 25 pitches in the 2nd inning. But other than that, it's been 10 or fewer. Hey, there you go. Time called by Trevino. So it's a 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Colorado here. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. There's the first strikeout on something other than that 4-seam fastball. 1 away.
Well, when you're throwing as many 4-seam fastballs as he's thrown, and then you offer the breaking ball right there, it catches the hitter by surprise, especially when you keep it down like that. Nice pitch.
So 6 strikeouts, and here is Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez has the 1 Rockies hit, and unfortunately it was the one that drove in the only run in this game. Well, bouncer up the middle.
Good slider. Good command today for Mike. The only unusual at bat of this game for Mike was the 4-pitch walk to Desmond. Didn't come close to an at bat like that. Had pretty good command to every other hitter.
Little roller up the middle. Odor with a backhand. Gonna have to hustle it. Not in time. Gonzalez is safe. Gonzalez does move pretty well. Jeff Bannister wondering why he was safe. Boy, that was close. And that one might be worth a review. And indeed, it looks like Banny is going to challenge it.
Yeah, and then Dave, it becomes the age-old question: is it definitive enough to overturn it? Very close. I thought he nipped him. Is it enough?
It is in the glove. Yes.
Yeah, I think he
will
got
be
him.
out.
Yep.
No, that's what we saw.
You don't, think they're
there's
going to
any
call
question.
you for your opinion?
I wish they would, but I think this will be a short review. I think they will agree with us, and they'll figure it out quickly. You could see it coming, though, couldn't you? I mean, Gonzalez can get down that line a little bit, even in his advancing age, and Rugi just wasn't going to have a lot of time. Had enough, though.
Well, they're looking at it for a long time.
That's Alan Porter, first base umpire, who made the call, and then Bill Miller, the third base umpire, who is a crew chief over there listening in. And here we go. Get the call. He is out.
Yes, sir. Good call, Dave.
Great review, great challenge. And so there are 2 gone, and a little break there for Minor. That changes the inning enormously.
And that kind of a play, the one person that knows exactly whether he's out or safe is the runner. because you can hear the ball and you know when your foot hits the bag. It's a little tougher for the first baseman, although he's got a pretty good idea, but the runner knows.
It was a good stretch by that guy right there, Ronald Guzman again.
Yeah.
1-0. And Iannetta takes high and away.
Which doesn't mean there's sometimes that the runner is out by a whisker and argues, but inside he knows, because you hear the sound of the glove and your foot hitting the base.
Well, 3 balls and no strikes to the veteran catcher Chris Iannetta. Minor had the 1 walk earlier, which was a 4-pitch walk to Desmond. After getting that big out, you'd hate to lose Iannetta. This one lined into left field, and that's a base hit. Second Rockies hit of the day.
Yeah, with a 9th place hitter coming up, 3-0 count. Iannetta's got a little bit of power. 2 outs, nobody on. That's a good chance to swing at a 3-0 pitch. You know you're going to get a fastball. You know that Minor's trying to throw a strike with it. So Iannetta got a good pitch to hit, lined it sharply into left field. I think the hope is that under those circumstances, 3-0 pitch, looking for a fastball, get your pitch that maybe you can hit an extra base hit, or maybe get a hold of one and hit it out of the ballpark under those circumstances.
Now Cuevas struck out his first time up. Rookie, 26 years old, from Puerto Rico. Formerly with the Dodgers, and came to the Rockies in a trade. Lifts this one out to right center field. Long run, and DeShields gets there. The inning is done, and the Rockies leave a runner. Halfway to the house this afternoon. Rockies still leading it 1-0. Oh, 1-0 score. Great pitching so far today. Waiting for one of these offenses to get something going. Kyle Freeland, the second-year pitcher for the Rockies. His Kubota power stats. How about his interleague numbers? A 4-0 record, a 2.03 earned run average in 4 interleague starts. And he's been good today. And he dumps that one in there for a strike to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Hasn't faced more than 4 hitters in any one inning so far today. And the Rangers have not had a man as far as second base yet.
If you go back to the end of April, April 24th, in 9 starts, Freeland has pitched really well. 6-3, 2.93 ERA. First 4 starts weren't quite as good, but his last 9 starts have been really good, and obviously today's a nice start for him too. Last year he struck out about 6 batters per 9 innings. This year it's up to 8, so he's improved his strikeout rate considerably. He had a good solid rookie year last year, 11-11.
Bouncer left side of the infield. Arenado right there and throws out Kiner Falefa. It's time for a Chevy game break. Let's bring in Dana Larson again. Ooh. The Astros are on fire. Picking on a struggling Kansas City. This one lifted into left field and drops in. Base hit. Joey Gallo is aboard here in the 5th inning.
Outfield playing deep against Gallo, as you would expect. So this one he kind of fought off. Let's see where it hits. A little bit toward the end of the bat, just kind of sliced it. Cuevas could not get to it. Based on where he started, he was going to have a hard time going that far to catch a ball like that.
So a man on, 1 out. Guzman had a base hit in the 3rd inning. Ronald continues to show up right at the bottom of the order in that 8th spot, occasionally 9th.
The left-hand hitters have done pretty well today. Chu a walk and a single, Guzman a single, Joey Gallo has a single.
This ball well out to right field, but Gonzalez coming in and will make the catch. Boy, there's a moment there where it looked like that might die.
Yeah, I thought he was going to play it out of bounds the way he was going after it.
Instead, Guzman flies out 2 away.
Another ball that didn't hit the barrel of the bat. Therefore, it didn't jump off the bat. It just kind of lazily drifted out toward right field. Gonzalez was able to make a play pretty easily on it.
Another chance for Trevino to get that first big league hit. He takes strike 1. What a couple of days for Trevino. Showed me a picture this morning of his brand new baby boy, 6 days old. And his son was here at the game last night with his wife and his mom. And they're here again this afternoon. How's that one away? Count 0-2. So a brand new papa. Got his big league call up yesterday. Thought it was going to be just 1 day. It was on the bench, but Carlos Perez rolled his ankle and was placed on the disabled list today. And Trevino took over the 2nd inning of that game. It's this ball out to center field. Long run for Blackman, but he'll get to it. And the inning is done. Rangers leave another man. We've played 5 complete. And it's still 1-0 Colorado.
in Arlington. The boys talked about a big week for Jose Trevino. He got his first MLB start here today behind the dish, and then less than a week ago welcomed Josiah Cruz Trevino to the family, his first son. And in talking to Jose about everything that's transpired over the last 7 days, he said it finally hit him, he thinks, on his way home last night. The fact that he is now a father and then is living out his dream as far as the big leagues are concerned. He said he's trying not to get too caught up in the moment, but rather contain the excitement and eliminate the nervousness that might come along with both situations, guys.
He's handled it pretty well.
I'm not sure what he's making in the minor leagues, but there's a chance that if he stays here another day or two, he'll make more in 3 or 4 days here than he'll make for the whole year in the minor leagues. Not exactly sure what the daily pay rate is at big league level. Somewhere around $3,000 a day, probably the minimum salary. And to say that minor league players in their first 3, 4, 5 years don't get paid a lot of money would be an understatement.
Yeah.
They really don't get paid a lot of money. So when you get called up to the big leagues, that's the first thing you notice, that first paycheck. Whoa. Not to mention the meal. Heck, the meal money, if you go on a couple of long road trips in a month, the meal money's more than you get paid in the minor leagues.
Well, it used to be, right? But this is the...
Oh, that's right. It changed. That's right.
Second year of their meal money really...
That's right.
Dramatically affected by the last collective bargaining agreement. And then...
I guess it goes to the different clubhouse attendants, different teams, and they provide 5-star restaurant quality meals to the players.
Line drive into left field for LeMahieu, his first hit of the game.
Forgot about that.
Hey, tomorrow it's the final round of play at the 118th U.S. Open. The best in the world look to tame Shinnecock Hills. All starts at 9 a.m. Central on your local Fox station, or you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. And let me just say, Shinnecock Hills today having its best day against the group.
Really?
The course is taking center stage and just thumping dudes. Dustin Johnson.
Whoa, you're 6 over after 9?
Yeah. He's getting knocked around. Everybody is. And by the way, I think you and I could put together a Ryder Cup winning team on guys who missed the cut. Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, etc.
Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
Jason Day.
Charlie Blackmon.
Here's another. I got another golf question for you. Let's say we took our typical foursome, whoever it might be, but could be Vito, could be Johnny Reynolds, could be CJ, whoever it is. We take a foursome and we play a 4-man scramble. What do you think we would shoot? Do you think we could break 100 with a 4-man scramble?
Bouncer at third base. Nice job by Kiner Falefa. Throws out Blackmon. I'd like to think we could.
Yeah, we had. I wouldn't bet a lot of money on it.
No,
of my own money. I bet plenty of your money, but I wouldn't bet much of mine.
You know there would be at least one of those holes where none of us would find the fairway, and that's where we'd be hosed. It would happen. Now, one out. LeMahieu now at second base. We'll bring up Nolan Arenado. The Rockies 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position in this one today. It's the first time today that the Rockies have put the lead man aboard. Yesterday they did that 4 times, and all 4 of them scored. One and one. Yeah, I was a little surprised at how Dustin Johnson was handling everything like it was no big deal out there. Everybody else seemed to struggle with that course. And
yeah, he was 3 under yesterday.
Today, I think he was like 6 over in the first 8 holes.
Yeah, I didn't see who it was, but I just, before the game started, I just checked the scores, and someone who wasn't in contention shot 4 under today. I'll go look it up between innings. So based on the way the field has played, and how Dustin Johnson played, whoever, Tony Finau might have been 3 under. Someone else was 4 under. That's got to be one of the rounds of the player's life to go 4 under on a day like that on that course.
Well, the wild pitch puts LeMahieu at third base, and now the count 2-2 on Nolan Arenado. The infield, as you can see, comes in. The idea here is they'll do whatever they can to keep LeMahieu from scoring. Got to try and cut him down, but it does open up some opportunities for Arenado to sneak one through. And this is a Rockies team that hits a lot of ground balls. Stays 2-2. Well, how about this? Ground ball percentage for the Rockies, second only to San Diego. Nearly 50%. By the way, all those are National League teams that are leading Major League Baseball. Here's a 2-2, and that one off his foot foul. Now Arenado, if you're the Rockies and Bud Black, this is the guy you want up there. Now he's hitting .345 this year with runners in scoring position. That's 10th best in the senior circuit, and it's not like it's an aberration. He's just having good luck this year. His career average with runners in scoring position is .337, and that is best among all active major leaguers. He and Joey Votto tied with that same batting average. Fly ball to center. And that'll be deep enough to get LeMahieu to the plate. So a sac fly by Arenado makes it 2-0 Colorado.
Tough task. Man on third, less than 2 outs with Arenado at the plate. Talked about him in the open to the show. Last 3 years, he's averaged 131 RBIs a year. So he's the ultimate when it comes to driving in runs. No one over the last 3 years has driven in more runs than that. Since he came into the league in 2013, he's first in RBIs, not just the last 3 years. Driven in 543 runs since 2013.
The bases are empty now for Trevor Story, who was struck out and popped out.
I think Daniel Berger was the other guy. I think Daniel Berger was maybe 4 under, Tony Finau 3 under. So they went from, you know, middle to bottom of the pack with those rounds. They're tied for 4th now.
Tomorrow should be pretty interesting. Miners pitched well so far today. Trails 2-0. That hardly tells the story. He's allowed 2 runs on just 3 hits. Has 6 strikeouts today. Has allowed only 1 walk.
Yeah, and both runs were aided, one by a balk and one by a wild pitch.
Yeah, if not for those, neither run likely scores.
Yep.
A lefty trying to get through 6 innings, and a fly ball out to right field. Chu right there. Inning over. Another run in though for the Rockies. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rangers trail by 2 with the top of the order coming. Chu will lead it off. Then Delano DeShields and Jerickson Profar.
I've got the feeling I'll be sitting
6th inning. A little reminder, keep your favorite beverage steaming hot or icy cold with the first ever Rangers tumbler, courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. First 15,000 fans to the game on Monday, June 25th. You'll get this tumbler, Padres and Rangers, and your tickets are there at TexasRangers.com. Or if you're into this telephone item, you could even call and talk to a human. 972 Rangers. I don't know if people still do that or not, but it's an option. Chu leading off the 6th. Rangers offense has been grounded so far today. And Freeland's 0-2. Swing line over shortstop. That's a base hit. So Chu has reached all 3 times today.
Facing a lefty who's given up an opponent's average to left-hand hitters of around 200. Chu stays hot. 2 singles and a walk. Been on base all 3 times. His on-base percentage coming into the game was .383. That was 9th in the league. Probably moving up a little bit today.
Now let's see if the Rangers can get him into scoring position. They've left him at first every time. Delino shows bunt, drops it down, first base side. Freeland will have nobody to throw it to.
That's the break you're looking for.
As great a defensive team as the Rockies are, they just had a little brain cramp right there. Nobody at first base.
Yeah, when it's a bunt and the first baseman is charging like that, that's a long way for the second baseman to go. LeMahieu couldn't come close to getting over to cover.
So, indeed, the Rangers do get their first base runner into scoring position. And they have 2 men on here. Nobody out.
I think what Freeland expected was to field that ball and have Desmond maybe take a step in, and once he saw that it was going to be fielded by the pitcher, get back and cover first. But Desmond just kept on charging and left no one there to cover.
Profar, considering the bunt, is popped up and flied out 0 for 2. It's down to Tony Beasley to double check on the signs. Jeff Bannister had some real interesting comments this morning about Jurickson Profar and his near-term future with the Rangers. He's outside for a ball. Of course, the news on the horizon is that Elvis Andrus will rejoin the team, likely on Monday in Kansas City, which means, well, what do? You know, Profar's been playing well. He said that the likelihood is you'll see Profar probably about 5 days a week playing somewhere on the infield. So that would indicate that he's going to get a little time maybe at third, a little time at second base. Got to keep his bat in the lineup.
Well, I think Jurickson has shown that he can play every day in the big leagues. And I think the reason that you can feel pretty comfortable saying that is because he keeps showing improvement. And he's not right now where he would be if he continued to play shortstop every day for the rest of the year. I think he'd be getting better and better.
Line drive, caught at shortstop, and they double up Chu. Boy, that is some kind of wretched luck, and we've seen that a couple of times. That's another double play, 4th in this series.
No, it's a well-struck ball, but it's right straight at the shortstop. It turns it into a simple double play. And Jurickson continues to have good at-bats. His average doesn't necessarily show it, 239, but he doesn't strike out very much. He extends a lot of at-bats by spoiling tough pitches. Pretty patient at the plate. He's driven in runs. He's knocked in 37 runs so far. You project what he's doing over an entire season, and if he continues to improve, maybe he ends up hitting 250, 15 home runs, knocked in 75 runs. That's pretty solid for a guy getting his first chance to play regularly at the big leagues. And the consistency at shortstop is starting to come together for him, especially his throwing. Not where it will be if he continues to play shortstop consistently, but much farther right now where you want it to be than it was when he first started. That's for sure.
So funny. He's quick with a smile. He was frustrated there, but it didn't take long.
Someone said something.
Runner goes, and the pitch is inside. That might have gotten a piece. Apparently did not. Of Adrian Beltre. So DeShields with his 13th stolen base.
Well, it'd be nice to salvage a run right here. First and second, nobody out. Delino gets into scoring position.
Ball and 2 strikes on Beltre, who is struck out and grounded out. Good speed out there at second, though. And a bouncer, shortstop. Trevor Story on a good one, and it's in time to get Beltre. The inning is done. Rangers leave another man. All right, 7th inning is next. Rockies leading it 2-0. But a reminder, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night is coming up Wednesday, June 27th. Padres in town for more interleague play. And coming out to Globe Life Park, you get those ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com. Beautiful scene here this afternoon. Lots of sunshine. Now, it was warm, 92 degrees when we started this thing. Might have gone up another couple of degrees here today. But overall, a really pleasant afternoon. As Ian Desmond will lead things off for Colorado. Desmond has walked and struck out. He has scored a run. Puts this ball hard and into left field. That's a base hit. So once again, Colorado gets the lead man on. We mentioned they did that 4 times yesterday. Scored all 4 times. They did it last inning and scored again. So that has been a formula that has worked well for the Rockies. Taking a look at their in-game box score. Not a lot of hits to go around. And no particular individual so far who has really stood out for Colorado. This ball, well hit by Murphy and up against the base of the fence. Desmond will pull up at third base on the Murphy double.
Right fielder Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, Murphy had struck out his first couple of times to the plate. Thought he put the charge in this one. That's the 4-seam fastball, but this one kind of catches a little bit of the plate. Mike has spotted that pitch on the outside corner really well today. Got a number of strikeouts that way. That time Murphy was ready for it. Mentioned that Murphy had been really hot in AAA. Hitting home runs, hitting for a good average. And since he's been called up to the big leagues in a short period of time, he's been swinging the bat pretty well too.
A little conversation, Doug Brocail out there in our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Alex Claudio getting ready. They do have the left-handed hitting Carlos Gonzalez coming up. I don't think he's going to be ready in time for that. There's only one other lefty in the order, and that's Charlie Blackmon. Second and third, nobody out, so now a really big spot here for Mike Minor. It's only a 2-0 game. Boy, some pressure to keep it that way. Gonzalez 1 for 2. Corners in a little bit. And that one in the air, foul and out of play. Carlos Gonzalez struggled through last season and didn't get off to a blistering start this year, but lately has been swinging the bat very well. That's 14 games, hitting nearly .365. Well, high in the air, shallow center field. The Shields will get there. Desmond bluffs, but he's not going anywhere. So one away. A good throw to the plate. That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to pitch out at second and third and nobody out, but that's a good start. Iannetta's hit the ball both times up. Flied out to left, had a sharp single to left field. And you could say you have first base open, but if you don't get the next two hitters, then you have to face LeMahieu. So the goal is to get Iannetta and Cuevas and let LeMahieu lead off the next inning.
So now everybody on the infield comes up on the grass. With nobody out, they had the middle infield back, but now everybody in. And there's the first pitch strike to Iannetta. Well, Minor approaching the mid-90s on that pitch count. And the one really stressful inning in the second, way through 25 pitches. Everything else been relatively efficient in the dirt, and Trevino keeps it close enough. Minor has gone over 100 pitches on only one occasion this year. It was that start against Seattle here at home. 5 1/3 innings in that one. Well, he's gone upper 90s a handful of times, but this is right about where most of his starts have ended. 1-1. That's a beauty. Strike two called.
That's a pitch he's used very effectively today. Four-seam fastball, 92 to 94 miles an hour, right on the outside corner. He's thrown a lot of those today.
A single and a double. Rockies have Desmond at third, Murphy at second base, one out. Miners 1-2. Fastball, and it is outside. 2-2. We know that the Rangers have tried to space his starts out to get him just a little bit extra rest. Last start, he went on 9 days of rest. That was his outing against the Astros. Went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. This time he got 6 days of rest. Trying to get through 7 innings. 2-2. That's a little tight. Seven innings would match his longest outing of the year. He went 7 against the Detroit Tigers on May 8th. A big full count pitch on the way. Iannetta shoots it up into the seats. A pretty good battle by Iannetta now. This will be the 7th pitch he sees in this at bat. And for Minor, it'll be the 99th of his afternoon, and he wants to talk it over first. He brings out the rookie Trevino, just his 2nd big league game. A lot of times you see those meetings, and those are the, usually led by the catcher. The catcher wanting to let that pitcher know, hey, here's what we got to do. But you got to feel like that time that's all Minor bringing out the rookie to say, no, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, Jose is known to be an outstanding defensive player, but at this stage of his career, he probably was doing some listening.
Well, that one just missed, so a walk loads him up. You could hear Jeff Bannister picked up in one of our mics down there, sort of asking the question of plate umpire Todd Tishner. So what, that was outside?
Yeah, when a player or a manager asks that question, what he's basically saying is, I don't think it was outside.
Exactly.
He knows where the umpire called it, but that's, I guess, a cryptic way of saying, I didn't like your call.
So now Cuevas in a high pop up back of second. DeShields got a late start. Odor is there though, and there are 2 gone.
Well, you got 2 little pop-ups in key situations. So a great job to get to this point. Bases loaded and 2 outs. But now the hard part. Now you've got to get LeMahieu. Did a good job to get Cuevas to pop this ball up. LeMahieu, a 2016 batting champion, who's hit .315 over the last 3 years. 280 so far this year. Been hurt a couple of times, though. He's been on the disabled list twice.
He has 3 hits in this series. Bases are loaded, and he takes ball 1. Yeah, this guy a very skilled hitter, and one of his unique attributes is that he hits a lot of balls the other way. You'll see some teams in the National League in particular shift opposite field on LeMahieu on the infield. Pulls this one third base. Kiner Falefa is there, and that will wrap up the inning, and a big lift for Mike Minor. Gets himself out of a bases loaded jam and keeps it a 2-0 game. Fans here will stand and stretch and enjoy God Bless America as we turn it over to Chuck Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and direct your attention to the area behind home plate and welcome Tommy Ray Williams. In honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed at home and around the world, Tommy Ray Williams will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam.
Rockies with the lead. The Chicago White Sox and the Rangers are going to get together on Saturday, June 30th at 8:05 first pitch. How about this? The first 15,000 fans to the game get a Rugi and Smokey the Horse bobblehead, courtesy of Golden Chick.
I haven't seen that one. That might be the all-timer right there.
That is definitely a unique bobblehead. Rugi and his trusty steed. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Bottom of the 7th inning. And Odor sends this one out to the gap in right center. That one's going to get down and go all the way to the fence. Odor into second. He'll head for third, and no throw even offered. A leadoff triple for Rougned Odor, his first of the year.
Rugi really hit that ball hard. That had some exit velocity on it. Blackman went over kind of sideways to that ball and then realized the ball was over his head. I think it surprised Blackman how this ball carried. Watch Blackman in center field come straight over, and now it's whoops. I've got to go back after that ball. I don't know that the right angle right off the bat would have allowed him to catch that ball anyway. That was a solidly struck ball for Rugi.
Had a great finish. It's just priceless. So he's now 90 feet away for Kiner Falefa. Now this is where the Rangers are going to have to cash in. You got to get one at the very minimum.
Yeah, just make some contact and don't pop up to center field and second base like the Rockies did last half inning. And a ground ball up the middle is going to score a run. Got to be careful at third and first because those guys are so agile, even though they're back a little bit.
Ooh, line drive, right field, base hit down into the corner. Odor does score. Kiner Falefa to second, and he'll stop there with the RBI double. It's a one-run game.
Boy, it's amazing how quickly things can turn around. You go back 15 minutes, and you're looking at the Rockies with a 2-0 lead. Their pitcher's throwing great. They've got men on second and third, and nobody out. And you go, oh boy, look at these runs. It's going to be 4-0. It's not looking that good. But Mike Minor pitches out of the jam, and the next thing you know, triple, double, and the Rangers are right on the verge of tying this ball game. Funny how things can turn around in a short period of time like that.
I always wonder too if you get a little lift from a pitcher.
Yeah, I
pulling
think you
out
do.
the rabbit like that.
Yeah.
Well, Joey Gallo, our TXU Energy Power player to watch. How about this? Most home runs at 110 miles per hour or harder off the bat this year. Gallo most in baseball.
Wow. And Nomar's right up there too. Good swing. Good pitch to hit. Good swing. Just couldn't connect with it.
Gallo had a rare single back of the 5th inning. He's up there swinging for the fences most of the time. And lifts this one high in the air out to left. Cuevas finding the sun. And he tucks away the first out of the inning. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's welcome in again Dana Larson.
First baseman, Ronald Guzman.
Yeah, that has been a rapid fall for the Angels. Thank you, Dana.
The Angels have 15 guys on the disabled list. They only have 12 active players from their opening day roster a couple of months ago. I know you know we always say, well, everybody has injuries. Do you have the depth? Can you deal with them? But tough to deal with 15 men on the disabled list. They just called up 2 pitchers who I'd never even heard of. You got to have a lot of depth to overcome that.
Freeland's 1-0 to Guzman, and that one up the middle. Story positioned well, though, and throws him out. 2 away. Kind of Falefa, though, 90 feet away now, representing the tying run.
The catcher, Jose Trevino.
Well, Tom, we've been kind of begging for it here these last 2 games. Excited for Jose Trevino and anxious for him to get that first big league hit. What a spot this would be. Get a base hit here and tie this game. That'd be a memorable way to do it. And maybe that's what he was thinking all this time. Well, I'm not just going to go get a hit, any old hit. I'm going to make mine matter. Well, no. So Freeland's pitch count now getting into the mid-90s. His last 2 starts, he's gone in excess of 100 pitches. And he dumps that one on the outside corner. In fact, he's had 3 starts, pardon me, 4 this year. That have taken him to that 100 pitch mark or more. Trevino pops this one in the air, back behind the plate. Might be playable. Iannetta back there, but ran out of room. 2-2 the count. Just 12 short of his season high in pitches thrown. Right at his average for the year. And it's been a nice game. Freeland has pitched very well. The first 5 innings were quite sharp. Rangers have gotten to him here this 3rd time through the order. 1 run is in, a man at 3rd. Trevino will get another pitch. Jose Leclerc gets ready. Likely to pitch the 8th inning. There's Kiner Falefa. Inside, and it's a full count on Trevino. Now here's the thing. He's got to come after Trevino because he does not want to face Chu with a tie.
Nobody wants to face Chu right now. Be a beautiful spot for Jose's first major league hit. You know, he's had good at bats too. He hasn't looked overmatched. He's making contact. But I think that's pretty much the scouting report on Jose. Outstanding defensive player. Gives you a solid at bat. Makes good contact.
Yeah, not a big swing and miss guy.
Right.
#100th pitch of the day for Freeland. And it's a bouncing ball. That one is through for a base hit. And Jose Trevino has his first big league hit, and it ties this game at 2.
Well, you know, he's making contact. He's putting the ball in play. And this time he found a hole, and boy, did that hit come at the right time. First major league hit ties the ball game. Well, that's about as nice an ovation as you'll get on your first major league hit when it was announced to the crowd. And there's the authenticator putting the seal on it to verify that that was Jose's baseball on his first major league hit. Nice job.
All right, Poppy, way to go. Here is Chu now, and he takes a high strike. 8-pitch at bat for Jose Trevino for his first big league hit, and it ties us at 2 here in the 7th. Another close one, and Chu in a hole here, 0-2.
It's been a nice pitcher's duel between Mike Minor and Kyle Freeland, 2 left-handers. Somewhat similar kind of guys. Mike throws a little bit harder. Mike's fastball has been his best pitch today. Freeland has a good fastball, about an average fastball with good command. Throws a lot of sliders. Both of them have pitched very well. Mike has already completed 7 innings, one of his best outings of the year. Terrific jam getting out of a 2nd and 3rd no-out job. Terrific job getting out of that jam in the top of the 7th inning. Very nicely done. Love to see Chu drive one right here, score another run, give Mike a chance to get a victory.
There's the 1-2. That'll even it up. Minor currently tied for the team lead with 4 wins. He and Alex Claudio. Minor 4-4 coming in. And that was an expert job today by Minor. Chu hits this one in the air left field. Cuevas is back though, and he is there to make the play. So the inning is done. The Rangers score a pair to tie it up. Rugi with the triple. Hello. Kiner Falefa brings him home, and then the first big league hit. Jose Trevino ties this one at 2 apiece. Visit your local Buick dealer. Well, a new ball game now. Jose Trevino tied it up with that hit just a moment ago. We go to the 8th inning. 2-2 our score. And it would appear from this point forward, it'll be the bullpens the rest of the way. Jose Leclerc, first man up for the Rangers in the 8th.
Yeah, nice numbers for Jose Leclerc. This will be his 25th game. Solid ERA, obviously. Few too many walks, 14 walks in 23 innings. You'd like to see something more like 6 or 7 walks. But 31 strikeouts in 23 innings. Opponent's average is only 132, and very important for a late inning bullpen guy. Keeps the ball in the ballpark. Has not given up a home run yet in 23 innings.
Look at the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Colorado. Charlie Blackmon, who is 0 for 3 so far today. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout. And Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story. Fastball off the plate. 2-0. Shields just jogging across the outfield, shifting a little bit more to the right before that pitch. Interesting as he continues to seek out the right spot. I've seen Joey Gallo using a card in his back pocket out there with hitters to make sure he gets the right alignment.
You know, for a while, guys were using some kind of markers out there. You would see them do it, not necessarily players, but coaches marking spots in the outfield. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, they were literally painting, like, you know,
They're sticking things in the ground to know where to play
sometimes.
certain people. I guess you could kind of use gamesmanship on the other team by every time you went to the outfield, just pull them out of the ground every time you went out there.
Swing and a
Nice
miss.
pitch.
And a big changeup, and Leclerc strikes out Blackman to start the 8th.
Won't see Charlie Blackman look like that very often. That's one of the best hitters in baseball. But if you haven't seen Jose, that cut changeup that he likes to throw, that you could not tell the difference between that and a slider. In fact, I don't think you're wrong if you do call that a slider. He can call a pitch anything you want, but when it spins like a slider and breaks like a slider, most people would say it is a slider.
Well, here is Arenado.
He does throw a slider, right? In addition to the cut changeup, or not?
No,
he throws a curveball though, doesn't he?
No, he just
Nothing,
throws
huh?
those 2 changeups.
So everything that goes down like that and curves is a changeup.
In his vernacular.
Well, it's his pitch, so he should have the right to call it what he wants.
Well, it just misses the bottom of the zone. 1-1 to Arenado. Had a sac fly in the 6th inning to give the Rockies at the time a 2-0 lead. A lead that they have since relinquished. And a hard ground ball, third base. Kiner Falefa right there. 2 away in the 8th inning. And we take a moment now for a word from our friends at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
All right, with 2 away, it brings up Trevor Story. Story hitless so far today. Had the 2 hits in yesterday's game in front of about 250 family and friends. He takes a good heater there, 96 miles per hour for strike 1. There's that changeup. Strike 2 called.
Jose is not a fun guy to face if you're seeing him for the first time. Well, he's tough no matter how many times you've seen him. His opponent's batting average tells a pretty good story when you've got a guy that's thrown 23 innings, given up 10 hits. You know he's tough to hit, but the first time it's really tough.
And a swing and a miss.
Evidenced by those 2 strikeouts.
A 1-2-3 8th inning. Leclerc loves it.
You got 2 good hitters, Charlie Blackman, Trevor Story, with that changeup, waving at it out of the strike zone. Nice job. 3 up and 3 down.
Globe Life Park. T-Mobile's hats off for heroes. We salute Wade Davis today. Closer for these Rockies. He is a big supporter of the Wounded Warrior Project. 10 big league seasons. And this is a guy who, since becoming a full-time reliever, look at that, a 164 earned run average. Second lowest among all qualified relievers. He has been a great one. And does great stuff in the community as well. Harrison Musgrave is the new pitcher here in the 8th inning for Colorado. Taking over in a tie game.
And Musgrave came into last night's game and pitched well. Pitched, I believe, an inning and a third, inning 2/3, didn't give up a base runner, had a strikeout. Tell you exactly, 1 1/3, 2 strikeouts.
Well, he gets to Shields. 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this 8th inning. So interesting. Both teams sending 2, 3, and 4 in the 8th in a tie game. Big spot for both relievers. Leclerc outstanding in the top of the 8th. Now Musgrave, well, that's a little high, 2-0. Of course, should the Rangers get Delano to Shields on base, let's say via the walk or some such thing, well, then that could be a real game changer. Takes a strike. It's 2-1. I know, one of the fleetest of feet in the game. 12 steals this year. Actually, make it 13. He stole a base earlier today.
You'd love to get a leadoff hitter on, and you'd really love it if it's Delano.
2-2. Rangers got their 2 runs last inning. They've out-hit the Rockies 8-5, and that one very high. Musgrave looking at his hand as if that one just slipped right out.
And Musgrave has walked 8 in 19 1/3. Not an alarming amount, but a few too many. See him making 9 right here. There you go.
Yeah, there it goes again. So ball 4, and Delano is aboard to start the 8th inning. And that'll set the wheels a turning there for Bud Black. His bullpen has been a trouble spot. In the month of June, ERA over 8 for this bullpen. Opponents, well, their OPS 984. It has been brutal. A Rockies team that started the season quite well. They started the month by leading the division by a game and a half. And they have drifted to 5 games back coming into play today. A good start to the 8th for the Rangers. Profar is 0 for 3. We'll see what he tries here with Delano out there at first base. Not going.
There's a lot of options here. Bunt him over, swing away, and swinging the bat well, right-handed. Straight steal, take a pitch, let him steal, hit and run. A lot of options for a manager. A lot of times now, okay, the sacrifice bunt was on the first 2 pitches, but it's a little bit different situation right now. Guys having a hard time throwing strikes. Counts 2-0. You know you're going to get a fastball. Do you say to the hitter, okay, let's not give up and out. Let's look 2-0. Let's look for a fastball. He's got to throw you a strike right here. Doesn't want to walk 2 batters. See if for 1 pitch, get a good rip at it. Maybe hit one in the gap and hit a double. 2-0 pitch. Not going to be quite as cognizant of the guy at first base. Could get Delano the steal sign right here. So the pitcher's thinking along with us. You might think I'm not going to look over there with a 2-0 count. I got to at least keep him honest. But his big problem is the 2-0 pitch right now. Don't want to go to 3-0 and Is Jurickson going to put a charge in one?
Well, Jurickson bunts it, but foul.
Well, sacrifice bunt all the way. Again, there's no right and wrong. There's just options. And it's pretty much how the manager chooses to do it. You might see a manager in this situation decide he wants to hit and run. Fast runner, guy that makes good contact at the plate. You might see a manager that says, I want to get the speed to second base no matter how we do it. I'm sticking with a sacrifice bunt.
And they continue to pay close attention to Delino.
Good thing about baseball is a lot of people watching, people in the stands, people in the dugout might have different opinions on what you do right here. Because there's so many options. Again, there's not really a right one and a wrong one.
It's a good lead, and he's going. And there's a ground ball through into left field. That's a base hit. Delino will turn and go for 3. And he's in there.
So there's another option. Let the runner run. The shortstop has to cover second base, and the ground ball goes into left field for a base hit. Took one shot to sacrifice the runners. The best thing that happened on that sacrifice bunt was that it went foul. Instead of having a man at second and 1 out on the sacrifice bunt, the ball goes foul. Now it's a 2-1 pitch. The batter's running, opens up a hole, and Jurickson grounds one into left field. And I like that because you've got a very fast runner and a guy that makes good contact at the plate. And when you've got that combination, good things can happen, which they did right there. So good call by Jeff Bannister.
Now everybody in. Beltre at the plate. Only Ranger without a hit. And he'll take low and in. There's some great numbers for you right there. 71% of the time he's able to get the runner in. Far better than the league average of 49%. 1-1. Beltre not worried in the least about getting a hit here per se. He knows his job is just to get it out there deep enough to get the run home.
Like to hit it past the dark green line. Past that line, in our estimation, is the point where the outfielder cannot throw the runner out at third base. If it's near the red line, that's where he does have a pretty good shot, even with Delino running. And anything in between is a varying degree of a toss-up.
Inside, 3-1.
But the chances are much less, no matter where the ball's hit, with Delino running at third base. Rangers and Tony Beasley will gamble right here with Delino's speed on a fly ball, especially when you got a left-hand hitter coming up next against the left-hand pitcher.
Beltre in the air, deep to right field. Gonzalez is back, and that one is off the fence, and then past Gonzalez. The Shields is in. They'll wave profile. Here he comes. He'll score. And Beltre to third base, and the Rangers lead by 2. Gold Glove right fielder tried to play that as creatively as he could, but it really ended up hurting him as that one bounced right past him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did on that play, whether he misjudged it, whether he got turned around, but it looked like it was a catchable ball. It's going to be a run anyway on a sacrifice fly if he caught it, but it looked like he got turned around, misjudged it, then turned to catch it off the bottom part of the wall. Looked like if he ran straight to the ball, he had a chance to make a catch on it, but that's just our vantage point up here. Regardless of whether he caught it, the Rangers were going to go ahead.
Boy, that is it for Musgrave. We'll take another look at that play when we come back. New pitcher coming on for the Rockies. First time today on the Beltre triple. Right over his head. Let's take a look at how Gonzalez played this in right field.
Well, Adrian hits the ball well. At the very least, it's going to be a sacrifice fly. But Gonzalez goes back. Yeah, I think he just misjudged that ball, because he's watching the ball all the way, and then all of a sudden he turns and the ball's slightly on the other side of him. It looked like the kind of ball that if he got a good jump and the right angle, he had a chance to catch it rather than playing it off the wall. I guess you'd have to ask him to know exactly, but it didn't look like it was a well-played ball, at least, again, from our vantage point, which is much easier. Looks much easier up here than it is down there for the fielders. The wind is blowing, the sun's shining, game on the line.
Well, Ryan Rua takes over at third base as a pinch runner for Beltre. And Brian Shaw is the new pitcher for Colorado. And it has been a struggle this year.
Yeah, pretty alarming numbers for a very good reliever. An ERA over 7, but 17 walks in 33 innings. Tells a story, and as does the fact that he's given up 7 home runs in 33 innings. Oh, it's been a struggle for him.
Ruge had a triple his last time up. That was in the 7th. Started the Rangers' 2-run rally. Shaw, I mean, not sooner or later it was gonna come to roost for him. He's a guy who has made at least 70 appearances in the last 5 years when he was with Cleveland, and 4 of the years he led the league as this one lifted high in the air out to right. And Gonzalez makes the catch and foul ground, tagging at third and scoring Rua. So a 3rd run in on the sac fly, and it's 5-2 Rangers.
That was a good inning for the Ranger offense. You know it's got a chance to go bad for Colorado when Delino DeShields leads off and is walked. That's just asking for trouble. Jurickson Provar with a runner running and a hole between third and second base, grounded a ball, and then with a man on third base, less than 2 outs, Adrian ended up with a triple, and then Odor in the same situation got the sacrifice fly. So very nice situational hitting for the Rangers that inning, this inning.
Now Kiner Falefa 1 for 3 with a double. 3 runs are in. Rangers with their first lead of the day coming here in the 8th inning. Shaw fires that one in there for a strike. The velocity for Shaw has not dropped. That's what's confusing to me. When I saw how much he had struggled, I immediately went to the fact that he just was worked a ton in Cleveland. But it's not like the velocity's come down.
Yeah, I've heard pitching coaches say that it's not necessarily the velocity, but the command that can desert you. Or sometimes I guess both can after a huge workload like he's had. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. But the walks would tell you that he hasn't had control. And the home runs would tell you he doesn't have command within the strike zone as well.
One and 2 the count. Now, he has been one of the top relievers in the American League the last handful of seasons. Such a big part of the Indians' success. In fact, when we were in Cleveland earlier, they were bemoaning the fact that they're trying to figure out life without Brian Shaw.
Well, he's only given up, the most he's ever given up home run wise in one season was 8. Gave up 8 twice. And he's already given up 7 in 2.5 months. So that's an alarming rate. He also has walked well under 3 per 9 innings every year except 1. And so the 4.5 walks per 9 innings so far this year is another alarming rate. Too many walks, too many home runs, something he's never done before.
With a fly out on a strikeout. 2 away. The MLB at bat is your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience and take advantage of great features like the MLB.tv game of the day. Maybe the in-game highlights, stats, news, and there's a whole lot more. Download it. MLB at bat is your app. Get it today. 2 away for Joey Gallo, who has a base hit today. There you go. There's your 4 outfielders again.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Let's see. The last time Joey hit, yeah, there was somebody on base. But when he dumped the base hit into left field, if they had this same alignment, they would have caught the ball, because the left fielder, at least the one farthest in left field down the line, would have caught the little blooper that Joey hit. Didn't matter. The Rangers didn't score that inning anyway. But they also weren't playing this alignment.
Trying to bunt his way on, but nobody sees quite the shifts that Gallo does, and nobody loses hits to the shift like the Rangers. 37 hits net lost to shifts this year. They've had 73 that ostensibly have been robbed because of the weird positioning of opposing defenses, and 36 that have slipped through because somebody's not there. And the average team in Major League Baseball has lost 13 total hits this year to the shift.
So with the shift, it's about 50-50, right? They benefit from it and they're hurt by it. Does that mean they got extra hits because they took advantage of the shift?
They got 36 extra hits taking advantage of the shift, but they lost 73.
Oh, they lost 73 of them. Oh, okay.
So it's a net loss as that one grounded out to Desmond, and the inning is done. But the Rangers get 3 runs and take their first lead of the day. Adrian Beltre with a 2-run triple. And the Rangers on front now try to close it off in the ninth. No hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, it's been a fun one today. And see how the scoring has played out. The Rangers with a late push to take a 5-2 lead now as we head into the 9th inning. And now just 3 outs away. And Keone Kela, who's been so good out of the bullpen against Ian Desmond, and he fires that one right in there for a strike.
Let's look at the arsenal. 2-pitch arsenal. Fastball 95 to 98 miles an hour, and a sharp breaking downward curveball in the low 80s. Great combination. Curveball starts out same plane as the fastball and breaks straight down 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, sometimes difference in the speed. And he can strike you out with either pitch.
Going a little tight. 1-2 the count. Desmond today a 1 hit and a walk and a run scored. Yesterday had a big game with a couple of home runs. curveball and bounce right back to Kella. One away.
It's our Southwest player breakdown. What a big hit for Jose Trevino. First major league hit. Finds a hole, goes into left field. No one happier in the ballpark than Jose Trevino. Gets his first major league hit and drives in the tying run in this ball game. A chance to start 2 days in a row, doing a nice job behind the plate, and chips in with a big hit.
A pretty special day. And a really memorable weekend so far for Trevino. And here is Tom Murphy with 1 out, nobody on. 1 for 3. Rangers lead by 3. Kella 14 for 14 this year in save opportunities. And there's a strike. 2-1. 6th in the American League with those 14 saves. The most saves in the big leagues this year without a blown save. In fact, you can go back to last year. He's converted 16 in a row. Now 2-2. His numbers dramatically different in save spots versus non-save spots, including his last appearance on Sunday against the Astros. We'll have the go-ahead run on a balk. Non-save spot. Fouled away again by Murphy, and it stays 2-2. He's been good, and boy, the closer job just really seems to fit Keone real well. Two-two. Fastball. It's wide.
Yeah, I think Keone, in the back of his mind, has always envisioned himself as a closer, looking for the opportunity. One thing that might have prevented it the last couple of years is his health. He hasn't stayed healthy an entire season, but he has this year. He got the role he wanted, and he's grown into it, done a very, very nice job.
He loses Murphy here, 1 out walk. Tomorrow we will wrap up this series. It's a 1:30 pregame start tomorrow, 2:05 for the first pitch. Our Ford probables. John Gray will make his 15th start for the Rockies, and Giovanni Gallardo back with the Rangers will make his 2018 debut.
Back in 2015, he stayed healthy, made every start, had a nice season for the Rangers. It's been a little bit of a struggle since then, but a veteran guy was willing to go back to AAA, pitch himself back into being ready to pitch in the big leagues, which he did, and here he is. Now he's going to get the chance in his hometown.
Gonzalez 1 for 3, takes one high. He was very much involved in that big play last inning. The Beltre triple that went over his head off the wall, and then Karen back past him toward the infield. Gonzalez, a Gold Glove outfielder, but something went wrong out there for him. High chopper, second base. Odor with the tag to throw to first. Not in time. They get the out on the lead runner, but a little late to first base. 2 away.
Yeah, we've seen Gonzalez get down the line pretty well today, and the only chance Rugi had was what he did. I think if he flips the ball to second, he didn't have time. Hoped to make the tag in the throw, but didn't have time to do that either.
All right, sounds like you might have been able to pick that up, but Bud Black said we don't think he tagged him at second. They want to challenge that out call.
Let's take a look. Was he out of the baseline? You can go 3 feet from a direct line. Is that 3 feet? Didn't look like it was 3 feet.
call was out and that Rugi tagged him.
That he tagged him, yeah.
So then, you know, that replay we just saw, I don't know.
Who knows
that it told
exactly
me either way.
what 3 feet is. But if you draw a straight line from the runner to the base, he can go away from that line in either direction by 3 feet.
But here's my question for you, Tom. You heard Bud Black saying we don't think he tagged him.
Right.
So I don't think they're even challenging
I don't think so either.
the baseline part. Yep. He is out.
I don't think that was ever an issue whether he went out of the baseline. You're right.
So a very quick review. All right, now Chris Iannetta. So Kella 1 out away from putting an end to this losing streak for the Rangers. Rangers have dropped 7 in a row. Feel good to get back into the win column if he can get this one more out. Leading by 3 here in the 9th inning. Runner goes. Nobody paying attention. That'll be defensive indifference, I would suspect. Two 2-0 to count on Iannetta. Kellis had to do a little work here in this 9th inning. Should Iannetta reach? It would appear that the Rockies will go to their bench. Gerardo Parra has come out of that on-deck circle. Rockies 1 for 5 so far this afternoon with runners in scoring position. 2-1. And that'll even it up. Nice crowd today. 23,468 are paid attendance. Adrian Beltre bobblehead giveaway today. And they've seen a good ball game. This has been an entertaining one. 2-2. Very close.
Could have been. Would have had an upset hitter if it was called a strike.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kella with his 15th save locks it down in the 9th inning, and the Rangers win it 5-2. And a come from behind win. They score the last 5 runs of the game.
Well, we talked about the ways that Keone can get you out. He can get you out with his fastball. Boy, that ball had some movement. That looked like a changeup. Get you out with his fastball or his curveball.
Well, he saved it today, but Mike Minor really did the good work. 7 very strong innings in the sun.
Well, today Mike Minor had his best fastball. It was 92 to 94 miles an hour. In addition to the velocity, it was the location of the fastball, being able to spot it away from the hitters, usually a right-handed hitter, and then occasionally mixing in a good curveball or slider. Allowed him to pitch 7 innings, one of his best starts of the year, against a team that scored 9 runs last night, hit 3 home runs and 4 doubles. He held them today. 2 runs and 6 strikeouts. Really, really nice performance. Didn't get a decision, but an outstanding effort by Mike Minor.
Yeah, Jose Leclerc ends up getting the victory, his 2nd of the year. Musgrave was the loser. And Keone Kella still perfect, 15 for 15 in save opportunities today. A lot of heroes offensively. Beltre with the big triple to break the tie. But that guy right there in his first big league start. Trevino got his first big league hit, and it was good enough to tie the game. So what a day for him. Proud new papa. Now the owner of a major league hit as well. And for all of that, of course, he's rewarded by being our post-game guest. He's down there with Emily Jones.
Yes, thank you very much. Jose Trevino, can you put into words what has gone on in your life in the last week?
It's incredible. Just blessed, thankful. So many emotions, you know, a lot of fun. Just a ton of words just come to mind.
When you have your first child, it's obviously experience unlike any other, but when that child is able at 6 days old to be in the ballpark, when you get your first major league hit, and oh, by the way, it's a game-tying RBI, what is that like?
I can't wait to tell them stories and see what it's like and be like, dude, you're in the big leagues at 5 days old. So, yeah, but it was exciting. I was more pumped to get the game-tying RBI, I think, rather than the first hit, but it was a good situation in the game, and it came good.
You caught a great game as well. Mike Minor did fantastic. The bullpen also strong. How big was that for you to get settled in behind the plate?
That was huge. I think after the first inning, it kind of was just like, okay, you're here, now go out and have fun. Minor did great. Keela did great. Leclerc did great. You know, they came in, they did what they're supposed to do. That's pump strikes and get outs.
Baseball is a funny game, and it has a way of working out the way that things have transpired over the last week or so. What are you trying to do with this time in Arlington?
Just soak it in, you know, and while I'm here, help the team whatever way I can,
Anything you want to say to your newborn baby boy?
I love you, man. I can't wait to tell you stories about it.
I would say congratulations, buddy. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Now that is awesome. Thank you, Emily, and congratulations to Jose. And by the way, the Rangers put an end to a streak, 13 straight games, having allowed a home run. So another little item from today's game. Well, stay with us. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, Mike Bassick have all the player reaction and breakdown from this one today. For Tom Grieve and Emily Jones, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Plenty more to come right after this.